It's reported there in the media this morning that Kitty Holland has won her defamation case against John Waters. John Waters is obliged to pay damages in the sum of €35,000 to Kitty Holland. According to the judge, John Waters launched a serious attack on Kitty Holland's integrity in comments that he made about her report of the Savita Halappanavar case in Galway. So Kitty Holland sued him for defamation and she has been awarded $35,000. Holland, she's a much respected and ethical journalist and well respected, well known writer and commentator. To suggest that she was deceitful with the story was consequential, according to the judge. And the judge in the circuit court said that his judgment was delivered after a 5-day hearing earlier this year. So a 5-day hearing in the circuit court is an expensive hearing. The judge said that the defamation by Waters was a serious attack on Holland's professional integrity as a journalist and caused her considerable hurt. Waters had told the court that he was expressing an opinion on a matter of public importance, but had failed to show that what he had said was true, the judge said. Opinion needed to be based on fact. And that's a very, very important lesson to learn from this case, or indeed from any case. Anybody can have an opinion about anything, but if you end up in a court of law, you need to have your opinion based on some fact. And the more facts, quite frankly, the better. So you can have an opinion that the sky is, for example, yellow or green or red or black, but you must have, and that's entitled, you're perfectly entitled to have the opinion, but it must be based on fact if you end up in a legal dispute in a defamation case, for example, like this one. The defamation case arose from Waters' comments in the run-up to the 2018 abortion referendum about a report that Kitty Holland had written in the Irish Times in 2012 about the death in hospital of Savita Halappanavar, who was miscarrying her child when brought to the hospital. In a speech to Renew a Party conference in 2017, Waters said that there was not a single history any doctor could produce of a mother dying because of an inability to provide her with good treatment that was related to abortion in any way. So that's the comments that Waters made at the Renew a Party conference, and which gave rise to the defamation. He said that Savita Halappanavar is the closest they've come, and we know that that's a lie. That's what he said. We know it's a lie that resulted in the journalist who started the lie getting multiple awards from her colleagues. So here is John Waters saying that we know it's a lie that resulted in the journalist Kitty Holland who started the lie getting multiple awards from her colleagues. The judge or the court has held, I think it's a jury trial, but I'm not 100%, or a jury hearing. But that is the defamation. In the trial, Waters said that the reference to Holland was intended as an attack on the report in the Irish Times rather than as an attack on Holland, whom he had known since he was a child and against whom he had no ill will. However, Judge O'Connor said that the comments read as if Holland started a lie on one of the most important news stories in the last decade in Ireland, and that she got awards for propagating that lie. And on the plain reading of Waters' comments, that's fair comment. He had seen no evidence that would justify an accusation of bias against Holland in her reporting. The newspaper report published by the Irish Times was not vitiated by significant errors and omissions that would constitute a lie, he said. The standard of journalistic checking and verification in the story was thorough, according to the judge. He awarded general damages of €35,000 to Holland, saying that she was a journalist held in very high esteem by her peers, and this is confirmed by this court. So that is an expensive day out, 5 days out, quite frankly, although John Waters wasn't in court yesterday apparently for the delivery of the judgment, but it was a 5-day hearing in the circuit court. The circuit court is not the High Court, but 5 days in any court in Ireland is an expensive outing. And the 35,000 damages as well, obviously, is a sore enough blow. But that's the situation there. John Waters found to have defamed Kitty Holland, journalist with the Irish Times, and must pay her 35,000. The report in the paper here doesn't say anything about costs, but generally costs follow the event, winner takes all, and therefore John Waters would be almost certainly have to pay Kitty Holland's legal costs, and indeed his own, for a 5-day hearing, which wouldn't be cheap. When I made this video first about the John Waters and Kitty Holland defamation case, the decision hadn't been made in relation to costs. The decision has been made in relation to costs now, and I'm updating the video, so that's why you'll see me wearing different clothes and so on. Bottom line is the judge has awarded full costs to Kitty Holland. So the full 5-day hearing, circuit court costs estimated to cost approximately €150,000. The judge has basically said that the rule is costs follow the event, and has agreed to award Kitty Holland the costs against John Waters. There was an adjourned hearing in relation to the specific question of costs, and senior counsel for Kitty Holland argued that, told the court his client was entitled to her costs following the court's finding in her favour. The senior counsel had indicated, or said Mr. Waters had indicated before the hearing that he intended calling 11 witnesses to give evidence on his behalf, but had not called any witnesses and based his case on a 100-page letter of defence and his own evidence. He said Waters had sent Kitty Holland's solicitors a 100-page letter which had made it clear he had no intention of settling the case and was going to run it. The judge then, following an application on behalf of Mr. Waters not to make any order for costs, said he saw no reason to depart from the normal rule that costs followed the event, adding that in his opinion the Irish Times social affairs correspondent was absolutely entitled to a full set of costs, and they have been estimated by some people at around about €150,000. Judge, just to be clear, had earlier held that the defamation was in the case had been a serious attack on Miss Holland's professional integrity as a journalist and had caused her considerable hurt. Hope you find the video useful. If you do, I'd appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up down below, and you may be interested in subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thanks a lot.